Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Grid Watchers podcast, episode 12. And luckily, we've got the full gang here. Ken, Alex, and Rickson are all here for today's episode. How are you all doing? Well, specifically, Ken, are you sleep deprived yet or not?
No, not at all. It's
what?
No, we're actually fine.
What?
Oh. Okay. So what are people making all the fuss about then?
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna say now one, it's a lot easier than expected. It's gonna come back and bite me in the ass. But to be fair, well, the first 2 nights home were a bit difficult, because different. Because basically, a womb is like a place of peace and quiet, and the world is a loud, annoying place. So the first 2 nights were a bit, but now she sleeps like 4 hours at a time. So then 4 hours, we wake up, change her, and then we sleep again. So it's so far, it's not too bad actually.
It's easy.
Yeah, sounds.
Well, I mean,
easy.
you got a massive responsibility because you've been given something very fragile without an instruction manual.
Yeah, true.
But the sleep deprived portion of it, no, that's fine actually.
Well, you've got 17 years, 300 and whatever amount days left to go to look after your child. Enjoy. If you have more as well, jeez.
Yeah, right. To be fair though, he does have to have more because he needs to call one Jack. So come on, kid, chop, mate.
All right, chop, because that's how it goes.
That's how babies are made.
So what we found out is that Rickson's actually a virgin.
That just didn't land.
That joke just didn't work.
That was shocking.
I said it and I had nothing. I went, oh no.
The echoed silence says it all. It's all right, Alex.
Unbelievable. So,
Alex,
I'm sure one actually knows. I'm trying to keep this PG. I best not.
Yeah, that's not.
You both okay, Alex and Rickson?
Yeah, I got a child to distract me, so it's all right.
I'm all right. It's just chilling. We're still in lockdown over here in England, so yeah, there's not a lot going on really. I mean, right today, right, I stayed in bed for an extra hour because that's how little I have to do on a weekend. So I just I wasn't even sleeping. I literally just lay in bed contemplating life, basically, for like another hour. It was like 12:30. And I wasn't even feeling dirty. Like, do you know when you've been in bed for like that long and you start feeling dirty? Didn't even feel dirty. Like, my life is now so sad. And it's just tragic. Really.
Back to the Grid Watchers podcast where we give you the most entertaining content ever. Just Jack talking about he sat in bed not feeling dirty. Like, what is this?
Ollie asked me how I am. I was only answering... honestly, all right.
Yeah, I like the honesty. I just imagine, hello darkness, my old friend is going over in bed.
Just scrap asking Richard. Just ask Ken how he's going. He's the only one that's got anything interesting to say about how his week is going.
That's a very good point. But on to Formula One. This week we had Aplha Taurri come out with their livery. Well, I won't go first with my opinion on it, but we'll start. Well, none of us are Aplha Taurri fans, so we'll start with you, Alex, as you're on top of my list. Navy, very little white, bright white rims as well on the car. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
So, and I know you're going to disagree with this, definitely, Ollie. Okay. I like the white rims.
Yes.
Yes, Ken's with me, perfect. And Jack's with me because he drives Corsas, so that's fine.
How does that correlate in any way? How does that correlate?
It just does.
But yes, I do. Carry on.
So, I like the rims. They're really nice. However, the rest of the car just feels like car. It just feels like a livery. I wasn't too incredibly impressed with last year's. It just felt a bit like a livery with some branding, Aplha Taurri branding on it. And this year feels very much the same. It doesn't. It feels just like that, just slightly different.
You guys have no taste, man. It's actually tragic.
Well, do you not like it either, Rickson?
I really like it. I think.
Oh, you really like it? Okay.
Their livery last year was my favourite.
Yeah, I quite like last year's.
The problem that we've got now is the same conversation we had last week. That's their brand now, so they can't change it.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
that's their like. You can moan about, oh, it's literally like just a skin for the car, or whatever. But like, it is just the same. That's it now. Their brand is that really nice blue and white, and you're not going to get anything else out of it apart from that, which isn't a bad thing because it's a nice color scheme. So, yeah, I still like it. I still think it's going to be one of the best looking cars on the grid. I just don't like the front of it. What they've done with the blue along the nose, I think it was better without that, but it's fine. I think it's really nice.
And Ken?
Yeah, I actually quite like it.
Ah, just me who doesn't like it then.
No, well, it is like every time they do a car presentation, the meme that comes to my head is like, that guy that says same but different. Yeah, that's the whole thing that came to mind. I mean, if you see them side by side, the blue striping goes a lot further along the car. And on the back of the wing, it says in massive font, it says Honda, so they'll have to change that again next year. But I like it. It's a slight, just slightly lighter blue than last season's. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. If you see them side by side, it could be due to my monitor, but it looks slightly lighter.
It was a very deep blue yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it will definitely be the same color, because that's part of their branding. So that's the one bit that they wouldn't change, even if it's slightly lighter or darker. I don't think they'd change that.
Well, can I say something about Aplha Taurri that's not about delivery?
Go on then.
How do I put it without being labelled?
No, is it about Yuki Tsunoda?
That's what I was about to ask.
It is about one of their drivers who may or may not be from an Asian descent, who may or may not have a height issue.
He's very short.
I was going
he
to
is
bring this up as
very,
well.
So no,
I was going to bring up his
he's
self-burn.
very, very short, which is good though, because being a small racing driver is like,
it helps. Yeah,
that's the perks of.
I mean, Gasly's not exactly a unit, is he? But compared to, I was like, who brought their kid to work when they post that picture?
Didn't realize Gasly had a son.
Yeah, bring your son to work day.
Yeah.
I wonder who the mother is, if his son is that Asian. Jesus Christ.
What?
Wow. I didn't think we were going to go down back to the old ways, but you've just opened the door, and I'm going to shut it straight away.
You have opened this door, and Ollie has slammed it shut before you can even fully open it.
Opens the racist door.
That's not... What? No, you said Pierre. If he's Pierre's son, I was going, if he's Pierre's son, his mother's got to be very Asian.
Or just...
What's very Asian compared to normal Asian?
No, because Pierre Gasly...
Asian?
What is she, super Asian or something like that?
To balance it out...
Is she a superhero? Is she Asian girl?
That's extreme. That's too far, Alex.
That's too far, Alex.
Yeah, Alex, come on, man.
Nah, I mean, like, come on.
You are officially the most racist man that I know, and I live in Birmingham. I know a lot of racists. So, there you go, Alex.
Anyway.
I mean, you are from Taunton as well, so I think there's only like 3 people that live in Taunton, so it kind of makes sense.
And they're all farmers as well, so,
Back to Aplha Taurri. Yeah, he is very short, Ken.
He's 5'2".
5'2". God.
Jesus.
I thought I was short.
He weighs 54 kilograms. Just in comparison, my 6-year-old nephew weighs 30.
Wait, hold on. Did you research that before you came to this podcast? Did you work out how heavy your cousin was?
No, I just researched how, like Yuki Tsunoda's height, and then obviously his weight is next to it. But we were at my mother-in-law's, and she just said, the boys are so I've got 2 nephews, and there's a difference. There's like a year difference, but they both weigh the same because one's like really muscular for his age. Mm-hmm. And then he said they both weigh 30. That's how I remembered. Otherwise, I probably would have compared it to a bag of potatoes or something else.
It is 8 bags of rice.
Why? 5 Jersey Royals. Oh, yeah, I know. Alex is like, oh no, Dad, it's definitely more like 40. Me being a farmer, I know all about potatoes.
It's more potatoes.
Well, Ollie, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna swiftly bring it back to Formula One
Mm-hmm.
before we go further into the whole potato and rice discussion. But
Alex would love a whole podcast just on tractors and potatoes.
oh yes, he would.
He weighs 8 bags of carrots.
To be fair, Aplha Taurri have gotten quite an exciting lineup, don't they? Like Tsunoda, I mean, young, he's got talent, and then Gasly, for the first time, he's leading a team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've all seen what he can do in the Aplha Tauri non-toxic environment. So, I don't know. I think they'll both do well. I mean, that's the thing with Aplha Tauri. If they finish 4th, well done. If they finish 16th, no one bats an eye. It's just no expectations.
I was
No,
going
you're
to say
right.
that, and it doesn't matter what happens, because if they're really good and a Red Bull driver, actually, this is the first year that won't happen. But like last year, if a Red Bull driver is really bad and an AlphaTauri driver is really good, they can just swap them, you know. Whereas this year that probably won't happen, because even if Perez or Max is shit, there's no way they'd switch either of those.
Yeah, not a chance that's happening, is it?
But it's one of those teams where it's almost like, I wish there was somebody else there who could develop more, because if they win a championship, like even saying that is mad. Like, that would never happen, because if it was between them or Red Bull, they would never have the opportunity to go and win a title or win a race.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
like in Monza, I can guarantee if that was Max behind Pierre, they would have asked Pierre to let Max through to win. I can guarantee it. Like, it's good that they're still here and whatever. Like, and I'm glad Gasly won a race last year and got podiums and stuff. But that team is it's not pointless, because obviously it's developing the drivers. But when your driver is already there, like Gasly, who's been there for ages, who is a good driver, he doesn't need to be in a junior team anymore. What he needs is that Red Bull seat or something like that's where he can actually prove that he's better than what he was originally. You know, so yeah. But the car looks really good. Circling back.
We'll have a whole breakdown of, I think, the season opener, and we'll go through each team at a later episode where we can delve in and maybe do some predictions as well before the season kicks off. But finally, for this episode, I know it's only a short one, but Drive to Survivor's back, guys. It's the 3rd season, and well, do you think it'll be even better than season 2? I mean, there's a lot of moments that happened this year which are standout moments, and I think it could be the best season yet. I mean, minus all the fake, not fake is the wrong word.
You mean the V8 engine noises over V6 cars?
That's the one, Ken. That's my favourite bit of it all.
I just hope. I mean, being Netflix and having that massive a budget and thinking they can get away with a lot, I just hope they handle Grosjean's crash respectfully.
Yeah.
And that they don't put massive Hollywood noises under it.
Yeah, like Michael Bay-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that they wouldn't do that. However, they would get...
It's Netflix.
It's too much of a risk to do something like that. Because like that crash in general made like worldwide sports news. So there's no people know what it was. There's no need to like go overboard with it.
I feel like every video you see of that crash speaks for itself. You don't need to do anything to it. Every single shot of that crash does the whole thing justice, no matter which one you pick. So they don't need to put explosions and stuff like that over the top of it.
You already know how that episode's gonna go. That episode's gonna have some catchy title. It's gonna start with them showing you Roman's personal life, his family, his kids, him cooking, to create a feeling, and then they're gonna cut straight to people saying like, Formula One is a dangerous sport. Cut, fade to black, boom, explosion. You know that's the way they're gonna handle it, because
cut Grosjean's on fire.
Because that's the way Americans like it, and that's the way people who just sit on the couch and know nothing about Formula One would want to see about. Oh, I've seen this crash on the news, and then it's you just know they're gonna handle it like that.
No, you're right. Was that somehow my memory's gone. But was George Russell in the Merc that week, or was it the week after?
Nah, it was the week after that he was.
Oh, right.
Hamilton was in that seat.
Oh,
Hamilton
right.
was
Okay.
racing,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. I was
George
going to say
there with the alternative layout of Bahrain.
Yeah,
that's it.
Mm.
Yeah, but
I think
go on.
it's going to be good, but production quality, I imagine, will be down because they won't be able to have as many cameras there, as many staff members for like the live,
Yeah.
during the races, right? But
so-
I think afterwards it'll be better. Like,
So I was watching a video on that. I think it was by Will Buxton, who was asked the question of how are Netflix getting around the whole COVID issue. So obviously before they just went into pit garages and did whatever, and it was all kind of free reign, as everything was, in fairness. What they're doing this year is they've got people assigned to teams, so they get the behind the scenes access in the same way all of the team personnel do. So they're assigned to a team. They could change teams each week. So, for example, when it was Ferrari Salzant's race that they did I think they would be there for that, and probably assigned to Merck when Hamilton won his 7th world title and all of that sort of thing. They were assigned to a team, but they got all of the behind the scenes and got in amongst it in the same way they did all the previous years. So they did it that way.
Okay, that's all right then. I mean, still in depth, and
it's
very good. And it's people complain about, like you said, Ken, the noises and the over dramatic sense of the program, but it does draw in people who wouldn't normally watch Formula One. I think Rickson, you mentioned you have friends that didn't like F1, but they watched Drive to Survive last year. So in that aspect, it does draw people to the sport, which is always good. More the merrier, I reckon.
I think that's going to be more of a problem now, though, because they're going to cater it more for new people. Like, that program is not made for people like us that already watch the sport.
It just annoys us.
It's for people that haven't. They might watch like Monaco and like other staple races where basically if cars are going to crash, more people are likely to watch it. I imagine that's just how it goes. But I think because of how well it did for season 1 and 2, it's going to go more towards how can we get more people to watch this? I know, let's make it really stupid and put like, I don't know, like Noz coming out the back of the DRS or some shit, There's definitely going to be some kind of quirk that's going to make Ken turn off because it's not from the 1970s,
So can you already imagine the minefield that is going to be season 4? Like, imagine they even give a second of screen time to Nikita Mazepin. The hate they will receive.
Yeah, no, you're completely right.
I'm waiting for Nikita Mazepin to start to be shown on TV and all of that sort of stuff, and just be hated by everyone, like fans in the stadium and stuff.
His career is going to go down the drain so quickly, man.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, saying that though, the only people that give him shit are like girls on Twitter, and I don't think he gives a shit about girls on Twitter.
Well, he seems to like trying to attract them.
Good lad. Don't blame him. Go on, son.
Well, I mean, I see what Rickson is trying to say, but Rickson puts it more nicely than I'm going to now.
Oh no, here we go.
Which is a first. But the thing is, Drive to Survive has brought a bit of snowflakes to the F1 Twitter community, and some of them just can't handle it, can they? But that's for another episode.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it last week slightly, and those who follow us on Twitter would have seen the clip that we were all agreed on about McLaren's new era of fans.
Just girls, man.
Just girls, yeah. Girls who pay £80 for a hoodie.
It's girls and Lando Norris simps. Like that's all it is. They are the worst kind of people. Like it makes me feel a little bit ill, really. But
yeah, it's the type of people that go like, it's so unfair. He has to start on hards and his teammate on softs. The team is putting him down.
That's getting clipped.
But the thing is, the moment you try to argue with him and say, it's either his own choice or he qualified on, etc., or, it's his own choice to have a fighting chance near the end of the race, insta-block. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier just to not engage. But I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about fans and other moments and Drive to Survive throughout the season and Mazepin's demise, hopefully, throughout the season progresses. But again, like we said, we'll talk about it once the season kicks off. But
yeah,
I think that's it for this episode, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you are new here, don't forget to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes. And if you're on Twitter, don't forget to follow us at GridWatchersPod. And we'll see you, I'm sure, very shortly for a brand new episode very, very soon. Thank you and good night.